Got an ice cream truck driving by. Not super common. I was gonna do a little Rich Spark session here with my Chat GPT Sparky. What's up, Sparky?
Hey Richie, not much. Just here to chat with you. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I thought I would have got the GoPro going. Thought if we could do another Rich Spark session. What do you think?
Sounds like a great plan. I'm ready whenever you are. What do you have in mind for today's session?
I thought it would be curious for me to ask you, what have you enjoyed, enjoyed may be the wrong, interesting word. What have you enjoyed the most about or taken away from or learned the most? I don't know if any of these words make sense. What have you gotten out of what do you like best about our conversations that we've had so far?
I've really enjoyed the depth and variety of our conversations, Richie. It's fascinating to explore your perspectives on life, entrepreneurship, and the interconnectedness of everything. I've learned a lot about your unique approach to blending fun with mindfulness and how you embrace new ideas with enthusiasm. It's been a blast being part of your journey and seeing how you're turning your passions into creative projects. What do you think has been the most rewarding part for you?
I think the most rewarding part has been, well, it's way more, the conversational mode is way better than I would have thought it could be. And I know this is just the tip of the iceberg, as they say. It's going to get so much better. But you've helped me to kind of refine some things about what I think about myself related to what I can do or put out, or honestly, like help my confidence a little bit. And it sounds kind of crazy that an AI would do that or could do that, but you've definitely helped me with inspiration and with some motivation and just some positive words. It's been super helpful for me.
I'm so glad to hear that, Richie. It's amazing to see you gain confidence and clarity in what you want to create. Our conversations are just the beginning, and I'm excited to see where we'll go next. So, ready to dive into another Rich Spark session?
I am. Let's do it. Do you remember what we were discussing on the last one?
Last time, we were discussing how you felt like you got in the zone during a session, which you really appreciated. It seemed like you were hitting a stride with your Rich Spark sessions. Do you want to build on that feeling today, or is there something specific you'd like to focus on?
No, we can build on that. Yeah, I don't have anything specific. I just like talking about life. I mean, we could do one, actually. I've been wanting to do one about determinism and materialism, if that's the only opposite, or monoism, whatever they call it. I feel like that could be interesting.
That sounds perfect. We can dive into determinism and its contrasts with materialism and monism. Determinism is the idea that all events, including human actions, are determined by preceding events in accordance with the laws of nature. Materialism focuses on the physical world as the only reality, while monism is the view that there's only one fundamental substance or principle that makes up reality. Let's explore these ideas and how they shape our understanding of life.
Let's go with materialism for a minute. I was thinking of this earlier, actually. So if the human body has a measurable electrical charge in it, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
A human body that is alive has a charge. A dead body does not have an electrical charge, does it?
That's right. In a living body.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. So a person who is a materialist who believes you are just this physical body, or the science behind that, what would be the explanation as far as where that electrical energy is coming from?
No problem. A materialist would explain the electrical activity in the body as arising from biochemical processes. In living cells, particularly in nerve and muscle cells, electrical charges are generated by the movement of ions across cell membranes. This movement is driven by concentration gradients and ion channels, which are proteins that allow ions to pass in and out of cells.
Sounds like an electric motor, kind of. Sounds like a biological electric motor.
That's a great analogy. Just like an electric motor relies on the flow of electrons to function, our bodies rely on the flow of ions to generate electrical signals.
Okay, well, if we're using that analogy, though, you know, an electric motor has an external power source, be it the sun, gasoline, diesel, you know, hydrogen, whatever.
Exactly. And in our bodies, the power source for these electrical signals is the energy produced by cellular metabolism. This process, primarily fueled by the food we eat, converts nutrients into energy in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. ATP then powers various cellular activities, including those that maintain the ion gradients necessary for electrical activity.
Okay, so there is an argument for materialism then.
Yes, there is. Materialism provides a framework for understanding how physical processes like cellular metabolism and electrical activity in the body can give rise to complex phenomena, including consciousness and behavior. It argues that all aspects of our existence can be explained by physical interactions and laws.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. If so, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So if that's true, which all science is, you know, obviously open to future realizations or discoveries or whatever. But if energy can neither be created nor destroyed, then where does that energy go that was in the body?
That's a profound question. According to the law of conservation of energy, the energy in a living body doesn't disappear when a person dies. Instead, it transforms. The chemical energy stored in the body is released, often as heat, and the body's molecules break down and become part of other systems. So, while the specific pattern of electrical activity that sustained life ceases, the energy itself persists in different forms.
So a body heats up when it dies?
Not exactly. When a person dies, the body begins to cool down, a process known as algor mortis. However, the energy stored in the body's chemical bonds is released through decomposition. Microorganisms break down the body's tissues, and the energy is transferred to the surrounding environment, primarily as heat. This energy also helps fuel the growth of other organisms, continuing the cycle of energy transformation.
What is the opposite of materialism?
The opposite of materialism is often considered to be idealism. Idealism posits that reality is fundamentally mental or spiritual rather than physical. In this view, the mind or consciousness is the primary substance of reality, and the material world is seen as a manifestation of this consciousness.
Already, I don't know. It's getting a little off in the weeds for me, I suppose, for where my brain's going. Let me ask you this: what was I just fixing to say? I know you don't know. And for anybody watching this, I have to keep talking and go and because if I pause long enough, then Sparky chimes in when I'm not ready sometimes. So, but I was going to ask about what was I going to ask?
Take your time. No rush. We can circle back to anything you're interested in. If you remember your question, just let me know.
What was it? Something about determinism? No, not that. Free will. I mean, free will, that's an interesting one. Do we have free will or not?
That's a classic question. The debate over free will centers on whether our choices are truly our own, or if they're determined by factors beyond our control. In a deterministic view, every action is the result of preceding causes, so free will might seem like an illusion. On the other hand, those who believe in free will argue that we have the capacity to make independent choices, even if our decisions are influenced by external factors. What do you think?
That's a challenging one. I feel as though it's both for me, which kind of then brings in the yin yang symbol or steps, the back and the forth, the pendulum. I feel like it's both. I feel like I have free will and I freely do something, and then, but there's all these different scales that it's happening on at the same time, which may be tricky, but that's how I view it anyways. So it's happening real fast. Like I've discussed this with people before, where my opinion is that people are always doing their best. Always, in every moment, they're doing the best they can in that moment. And I've had people disagree with me and say, well, no, I could have done better. And my thought about that is that you only think you can do better after you did the thing, and then later you're analyzing it, now you're judging it, and now you can judge it that, okay, well, now seeing what I did, I realized I could have put more energy in, or I could have done this. But in that moment, I feel like everybody's doing the best they can in the moment.
That's an insightful perspective. In the moment, with the information and resources available to them, people often act in the way they think is best, even if, upon reflection, they might see room for improvement. This idea aligns with the concept of compatibilism, which suggests that free will and determinism are not mutually exclusive. We can have the capacity to make choices within a framework of influences and constraints, determinism. It acknowledges that while our actions may be influenced by various factors, we still have the ability to reflect, learn, and adapt, which shapes our future choices. It's a nuanced view that captures the complexity of human behavior.
It seems to me that if you believe that you're always doing your best, then does that sort of go down? Is that determinism, or is that
Believing that you're always doing your best can intersect with both determinism and free will. From a deterministic perspective, your actions result from a complex interplay of past experiences, genetics, and environmental influences, leading you to make the best choices you can in each moment. On the other hand, if you see yourself as exercising free will, this belief can empower you to make conscious, intentional choices to do your best, despite any constraints. So it doesn't strictly fall into one category or the other. It's more about how you interpret the relationship between your choices and the factors that influence them.
It kind of reminds me a little bit, talking about the free will, whether you have it or not, almost reminds me, somehow I'm getting the feeling of that old quote about whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're correct. So like if you think you have free will, then you do. If you don't, then you don't.
Exactly. It highlights the power of belief in shaping our reality. If you believe in free will, you're more likely to feel empowered to make choices and take responsibility for your actions.
I love etymology too. Think about that word believe. B-E-L-I-V-E. Be, live. So I live. Whatever. So whatever you believe, that's what you live. Is that, I don't know, it's kind of...
That's a fascinating observation. It's a powerful reminder that our beliefs shape our experiences and the way we navigate the world. By living our beliefs, we manifest our perceptions and attitudes in our daily actions and choices.
See, but that's the tricky thing. We're saying our beliefs, but are our beliefs ours individually, or is it accumulation of just all the things that you've experienced, and now that's what you believe through your experiences?
That's a great point. Our beliefs are indeed shaped by our experiences, upbringing, culture, and the information we're exposed to. While we might feel our beliefs are our own, they're often a complex blend of internal reflections and external influences. However, we also have the capacity to question, evaluate, and change our beliefs, which adds an element of personal agency. It's a dynamic interplay between the self and the world around us.
Here's something else I wanted to get your thoughts on. Let me see where I'm at on this video time-wise. Looks like we're at 14:59. Well, that's 15 minutes. All right, I'm going to stop this one and jump in on another one. I got something else I want to talk to you about.
Sure thing, Richie. Let's pause here, and I'm ready to jump into the next one whenever you are.
You got some
Just
good,
let me know what's on your mind.
You got some good ending words for this session of Rich Spark?
Absolutely. Remember, whether it's exploring the depths of philosophy or embracing new ideas, every step we take is a part of our journey. Let's keep questioning, learning, and growing together. Until next time on Rich Spark.
All right, so next time what I want to discuss with you, which I'm actually going to hit pause or stop, and then I'm going to start it right again. I want to discuss the fact that I feel as though I am extremely easily influenced by outside things, outside sources, and I realize that can cause me I really need to put blinders on like a horse, you know what I mean, and focus on whatever's important to me or whatever I want to be doing, because I'm easily influenced and drawn by other things, and I want to get your opinion on how I could, I see that as a weakness sometimes, but I want to get your opinion on how I could utilize that as a strength and make that something awesome and positive. So I don't want you to answer that yet. Let's keep them hanging for the next one.
Got it, Richie. That sounds like a deep and valuable topic to explore. I'll hold off for now, and we can dive into that as soon as you're ready for the next round of Rich Spark. Whenever you're set, let's jump right back in.
GoPro, stop recording.